At the beginning of the game we start a new universe. You can also merge several universes, also called branches. And after a very strange start scene, we find ourselves in a room on the Senlil aircraft and are immediately greeted by a crew member and receive a very short briefing. We slip into the role of Bishop 6 of the Consortium, a peacekeeping force for global unity and environmental protection in the year 2042. We are the successors of other bishops and have yet to earn the favor of the crew. After we receive the CMC, the Consortium Mind Communicator, a device that enables us to communicate by thought and also works over very long distances, we have to explore the plane and get to know the crew. As soon as this is done, we mysteriously find a core, and since it is apparently a murder committed by a crew member, we have to find the murderer. And this is where the interesting voice-based adventure Consortium VR begins. Probably the most interesting and undoubtedly the best feature in Consortium VR is the voice recognition voice. This allows players to have real conversations with the crew members on the plane. With age comes experience.
I'm not a child, Bishop, if that's what you're worried about. We have a pretty young crew on this ship, and I hope to the ancestors that you can drop this military macho attitude.
Of course, we can't yet say just any sentences, but we can choose from predefined dialogue options, say them with our own voice, and the conversation partner will then respond. This is really great and gives us an even more immersive feeling of actually being in this world, especially in virtual reality. And surprisingly, the voice commands work really well, provided the MetaQuest 3's integrated microphone plays along, because as we all know, it's not the best. Our voice is often quite quiet, as you can hear. Unfortunately, this often means that the microphone doesn't recognize our voice and sometimes our voice commands aren't registered. As we sometimes only have a certain amount of time to speak a dialogue, this can be really annoying and it can have an impact on the further course of the story and or the attitude of the crew. But it's a real pleasure to talk to the characters in this way. In my test, the English language input worked best. And so it's really fun to solve the virtual murder case in Consortium VR, talk to the crew and influence the course of the story with our decisions. The dialogues are also well done for an indie studio, are well spoken and provide a smile or two.
Bishop 6 left the Consortium early 2040? Yep, he just up and left. He's a stay-at-home dad now. Go figure. He lives in Florida with his wife and his 2 kids.
The game also offers a kind of attitude system which can also influence the course of the game. Depending on which dialogue options and decisions we choose in the individual conversations and how we deal with the crew members, we can increase our reputation with the respective NPCs, or conversely can also quickly and violently alienate them. Under certain circumstances, this can lead to them no longer wanting to talk to us or only giving us scant information, which of course makes solving the murder case considerably more difficult. But it's not just the conversations that affect the course of the game. Various actions can also have a drastic effect in some cases. Visually, Consortium VR cuts a fine figure on MetaQuest 3, which is also due to the fact that the remaster was created using the Unreal Engine. As always, you have to like the somewhat stylized and slightly comic-like graphic style, but as I've often reported, this style pretty much always works and also looks really good in virtual reality. The game has a clean look, which suits the rather futuristic scenario. The overall picture is convincing and sharp, even though some effects look a little strange. A few textures are slightly washed out and there is unfortunately quite a lot of edge flicker from time to time, especially in the distance. Some of the animations look a little strange, but that's also bearable. On the whole, it is a visually beautiful game, but with rather simple character models and knows how to convince. As you can also make several graphic settings in the options. There are also the usual VR comfort settings. The VR interactions are intuitive and work well. Although Consortium VR also offers optional game scenarios in the virtual trainer during the story campaign, and there is also a corresponding level editor, but the main setting is unfortunately only the airplane. The focus in this game is clearly on the dialogue and the mysterious conspiracy story, which is really interesting. The main mission is to solve the murder case of a member of the consortium and who is behind it, but there are always other events happening along the way that never really get boring and reveal more and more of the story. This motivates you to keep on playing and really captivates you in this virtual world. There is also a lot of background information and text to read. In the scenario, so during the campaign, you can also use the weapons as you please and observe what happens, because the course of the game changes depending on how we behave. That's why it's not really a bad thing that there is hardly any gameplay in this game, because the voice input with voice, the exciting story and the high replay value make up for it. If you are looking for an exciting and futuristic crime thriller, would like to solve a murder case and like story-based games with innovative voice control and high replay value, you can pick this up without hesitation and be entertained for a few hours. If you are looking for an action game, this is not the game for you. Due to some technical inconsistencies and a few other points of criticism, it just misses out on a 4 rating.
Angelov has betrayed us. They're not disabled and not too powerful. We must retreat.
The rest not running off for home and beginning attack patterns. It looks like we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned dogfight. Bishop, I need your other guns right away.